Prem Sasumapati Mahadev ki jai, Shri Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki jai. As we begin this beautiful night, we take this wonderful opportunity to welcome each and every one. We say aapko swagat, namaskar karta hu. On behalf of the members of this wonderful home and this beautiful family, as we've taken this golden moment to reflect on our loved ones, those who have left us and gone to the realms of all the gods and the goddesses. At this time, let us all sit upright, let us close our eyes, so that we can join in beautiful invocation prayer, wonderful mantras to invite the presence of the gods. Partaya pratibhuritam bhagavata Narayanena swayam Vyasena gratitam purana muninam Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamrita varshini bhagavate Ashtadashadhyayani Ambatva manusandadhami Bhagavad Gita Bhavaraveshini Namostute Vyasa Vishalavinde Pularavindraya Tapatra Netraha Yena Tvaya Bharata Tela Purnaha Prajvalito Jnanamaya Pradeepaha Prapanna Parijataya Totra Vetraya Kapane Jnanamudraya Krishnaya Gitamrita Duhe Namaha Sarva Upanishado Gavo Dugdha Gopala Nandanaha Partho Vatsu Sudir Bhoktam Dhognam Gitamritam Mahatam Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadguru Bhishmadrona tata cha tadajala Gandharanilotpala Shalyagrahavati kripe navahani Karnina vilakulam Ashvattama vikarna ghora makaram Duryodhana vartini Sutirna kalupandavai naranadi Kaivartaka keshavan Parasharya vacha sarojamamalam Gītāṭagandhotkatam Nānākyanaka kesaram harikatha Sambhorna bhoritam Loke sajjana shatpareraha Pepe yamanam muda Bhuyar bharata pankajam kalimalam Prajvamsana shreyase Mukam karoti vachalam Pangum langete girim Yat kripatamaham vande Paramanandamadavam Yam brahma varunindra rudramartaha Stunvanti divye srave Vedai sanga padakramopanishadai Gayantyam samaga Janavastita targatena manasa Pashyantyam yogino Yasyantam na vidusura suragana Devaya tasmai namaha Devaya tasmai namaha Devaya tasmai namaha Om namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. As we begin this beautiful night, we're about to join in worship to our Lord, Lord Hanumanji. And as we praise our Lord, we join in beautiful Sri Hanuman Chalisa. Shri Guru Charana Saroj Raja Nijamana Mukura Sudha Varna Raghuvara Vimala Jasu Jodaya Kupalacha बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरो पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या दे हो मोही हरहु कलेश विकार। जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीश तिहु लोक उजागर राम दूत तुलित बल धामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नाम महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगे कंचन वरन विराज सुवेशा आनंद कुंदल कुंजित केसा हाथ वज्र और ध्वजा विराजय कांधे मोंद जनेऊ साजय शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिबे को आतुर प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया राम लखन सीता मन बसिया हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम हरे राम 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 ओ सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सिय हिदिकावा विकट रूप धरि लंका जरावा भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे रामचंद्र के राज सवारे लाए सजीवन लखन जियाए श्री रघुवीर हर शिवर लाए रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बराए तुम मम प्रिय भरतहि सम भाई सहस वदन तुम रोज सगावे सकै श्रीपति कंठ लगावे सरकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा नारद शारद सहित यम कुबेर दिगपाल जाते कवि कोविद कह सके कहाते तुमो पुकार सुग्रीव ही केना राम मिलाय राज पर दीन हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 तुमरो मंत्र विभीषण माना लंकेश्वर भय तब जग जाना योग सहस्त्र योजन पर भानो लीलुता ही मधुर पल जान प्रभु मुद्रिका मिली मुख माही जल लांगे गए अचर जनाए दुर्गम का जगत के जेते सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हारी तेते राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे होत न आज्ञा पैसारे सब सकल है तुम्हारे शरणा तुम रक्षक काहो को डरना अपन तेज समारो आप तीन हो लोग आंकते कापे भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे महावीर जब नाम सुनावे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम 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 ओ नासै रोग हरय सब पीरा जपत निरंतर हनुमत वीरा संकट ते हनुमान चुरावे मरक्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावे सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा दिन के काज सकल तुम साजा और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे दुई अमित जीवन पल पावे चारों युग परताप तुम्हारा है पर सिद्ध जगत उजियारा साधु संत के तुम रखवारे असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे अष्ट सिद्धि नव निधि के दाता सबर दीन जानकी माता राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा सदा रहो रघुपति के दास Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Ram. तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावे जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे अंत काल रघुबरपुर जाय जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाय और देवता चित्त न डरहि और मत से सर्व सुख करहि संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा दुष्विर हनुमत बल जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई कृपा करहु गुरुदेव के नाय दुष्ट बार पाठ कर कोय दुत ही बंदे महासुख होय जो यहाँ पर हनुमान चालीसा हुई सिद्धि साके गौरेसा कृषि दास सदा हरे चेरा ही जयनाथ हृदय महादेव हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम हरे राम हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण हरे हरे राम राम हरे हरे पवन तनय संकट हरना मंगल मूर्तिरो राम लखन सीता सहित हृदय बसहो सुरभु पावन सुत हनुमान की जय श्री वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय. As we begin this beautiful afternoon in devotion, today we have come together united as a family to reflect and to remember our loved ones. Today when I walked in and I saw all the pictures of all those who have departed, I was speaking to Rian and Kumar and I was simply saying, look at life. Today we are looking at the pictures of our loved ones on a table and their pictures are just there. One day we sat with them on a table and we had a laugh. One day we sat with them and we probably ate something, or we had a good time, or we laughed about something, and today we are just looking at their images on the table and remembering them. Such is life. Every single day that goes by are the days and the moments that will never come back. And today, once more, tonight, we are here to join in that reflection. But before we do so, we join in this chant to Bhagavan Krishna as we build our energy, our strength, emotionally. We say, Lord, we need to stand strong, united as a family. We will lose loved ones from day to day and from moments to moments. But in order to rise above the temptations of the world, we need to place our feet on the feet of our Lord. Radhe, 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 Govinda Radhe, 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 Gopal Radhe. As you join in this beautiful chant, we are about to praise our Lord and we say, Lord, everything happens by your mercy and your compassion. And today when we glorify you, we are simply crying out as a child in the world to receive your blessing and your darshan. Govinda Radhe, Gopal Radhe, Govinda Radhe, Gopal Radhe, 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 Govinda Radhe, 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 Gopal Radhe. We sing all together. Shri Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki Jai. Radhe, 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 Govinda Radhe, 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 Gopal Radhe, 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 Govinda Radhe, 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 Gopal Radhe, Govinda Govinda Radhe Gopal Radhe Govinda Radhe Gopal Radhe He Govinda Radhe Gopal Radhe Govinda Radhe Gopal Radhe 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 Govinda Radhe 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 Gopal Radhe. Everybody, Radhe 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 Govinda Radhe 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 Gopal Radhe Govinda Radhe Gopal Radhe Govinda Radhe Gopal Radhe Govinda Radhe Gopal Radhe Govinda Radhe Gopal Radhe 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 Govinda Radhe 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 Gopal Radhe. He Govinda Radhe He Gopal Radhe 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 Govinda Radhe Gopal Radhe 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 Govinda Radhe 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 Gopal Radhe He Govinda Radhe. Shri Vrindavan Bihari Lal Ki Jai. Our Katha tonight is taken from the golden pages of Aranya Khan of Ramayana, Ramchatramanas. To those who know the epic of Ramayana, you will remember that most powerful part of Ramayana where many people remember, where Prabhu Ram goes into the forest for 14 years and Sita Mata becomes kidnapped, or she's abducted by Ravana. It is said in that very moment where Sita Mata was kidnapped, Prabhu Ramachandra coming back to the Kutya, he did not see the mother there. He did not see Devi Sita there. He asked Bhaya Lakshmana, where is mother? Where is Devi? And Lakshmana could not answer, because nobody knew where she was, but they knew that she was kidnapped and she had disappeared. Prabhu Ramachandra decided to search for the mother. And he says to Lakshmana, he says, while we will search today for Devi Sita, may the world understand that in life sometimes we will lose the people that we love. And it will not be for a moment, or probably from time to time, but sometimes we will lose people for a lifetime. When we look at the pictures on the table, just think about this. For the rest of your life, you will never see that face again. It is not like you could take a trip and you could go to a different country and you will see the same face somewhere else. It is not like we could probably say, let's go to India, somewhere far, China, Japan, somewhere. And I'm going to see somebody who looks exactly like her. Or somebody who looks exactly like him. No matter where you go in the world, the face that we will see, the face that we connect with, the people we connect with will always be one in everything. Not even one in a million, one in everything. The people you connect with in your life, the people you see in your life, the people you grow up with will always, forever be only one. There will never be more like it. And while Prabhu Ramachandra says to Lakshmana, he says, Bhaiya Lakshmana, he says today, while we've lost Sita Devi, don't just sit now, but we need to move on and to move further in life. Life has to go on. Do you know why you have a one-year prayers? Why you have a one-year prayer? Do you think it's because of the journey of the soul only? It is said when somebody dies and the funeral day is completed, we have a 13-day or the Shrad. And when that 13 days is completed, some people say, well, we don't need to do 1 year and so on after that. We can lock it off right there. But do you know why? There are two reasons why. First of all, the soul goes through a journey for 16 cities which will last 1 year. And at the end of a long journey, the soul has to be contented now by the offerings of food and prayer and worship. So a 1 year prayer is done. But at the same time, secondly, it is said that when the 1 year period reaches, it is the final day of grief for the family members. When a 1 day is completed, you're not supposed to grieve and hurt now and feel as though your life is over. God gives you 1 year to grieve, 1 year to mourn, 1 year to think of the person that you have lost. And after 1 year, life must go on. You will never see that face anymore. Some people might say it's the hardest thing in the world. How could I forget my sister who died? How could I forget my mother who has died? How could I forget my brother or my child or my friend or whoever it may be? But Prabhu says, I'm giving you 1 year. That is why in that 1 year, people say you can't do a prayers, you can't do jandi, you can't keep a yajna, you can't do a grand celebration. Take that time to mold yourself, reflect on who you are. Remember who you are. Cry if you must, grieve if you must, mourn if you must. But after 1 year, you have a life in this world because your time will come one day. Prabhu Shankar Bholenath, he sits in Kailash Parvat and he sees on the earth how many people are suffering. And when he looks down on the earth, listen with this beautiful one. Dhyayati Shambho Nagavaranam Bham Bam 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 Bhasma Vilepam. Lord Shiva says, Devi, the world will not remember what it takes and what it is to reflect and to chant and to praise God. And tonight while we sing, remember our loved ones and say, God, we are still alive. And give me the strength, Lord, to move forward from this point. Jayate Shambho Nagavaranam Sham 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 Shankara Rupam Jayate Shambho Nagavaranam Bham Bam 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 Bhasma Vilepam. Jayate Shambho Nagavaranam Bham Bam 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 Bhasma Vilepam. Jayate Shambho Nagavaranam Bham Bam 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 Bhasma Vilepam. Shariram Ganga Shirasham Gana Vilolam Ganga Shirasham Gana Vilolam Nandi Vahanam Vanditalolam Nandi Vahanam Vanditalolam Jayati Shambhu Nagavaranam Bam 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 Bhasma Vilepam Jayati Shambhu Nagavaranam Sham 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 Shankara Rupam. Prabhu Shankar, Lord Shiva, he speaks to the mother. When he speaks to Parvati Devi, he says, Ma, look on the earth and see how the world is suffering. People in today's world, they have become so caught up with the things in front of them that they forget to acknowledge the simple things that the eyes don't catch. People are caught up in the maya, the illusion, the fancies of the world. And people have forgotten how to live life. People have forgotten how to smile. People have forgotten how to laugh. People have forgotten how to live life meaningfully. Instead, we run after the fancies of the world. And in turn, we become caught up by the maya and illusion. Bhaskarate तेजसं भवभयनाशं भास्कर तेजसं भवभयनाशं वासकि भूषण वीर विचारं वासकि भूषण वीर विचारं मन्मथनाशं माधव पूजं मन्मथनाशं माधव पूजं मन्मथनाशं माधव पूजं गायत्री शम्भु नागाभरणं शं 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 शङ्कररूपं गायत्री शम्भु नागाभरणं बं 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 भास्मविलेपम् नम नम नगपति देहं मम 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 मंत्र सपूजं शं 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 शीघ्र प्रसन्नं वं 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 विरूपमेत्रं यं 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 यक्षेशमेत्रं जायति शम्भो नागमरणं वं 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 भास्मविलेपं वं 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 भास्मविलेपं वं 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 भास्मविलेपं वं 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 भास्मविलेपम् नागेन्द्रहाराय त्रिलोचनाय भस्माङ्गरागाय महेश्वराय नित्याय शुद्धाय दिगम्बराय तस्मै नकाराय नमः शिवाय वन्दे देव उमापतिं सुरगुरुं वन्दे जगत्कारणीं वन्दे पन्नगभूषणं मृगधरं वन्दे पशूनां पतिम् ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय तव सक्रोरनिसे चरा किसिया कादेषु परमा कराल कृपाना. Tonight, Prabhu Rama, he couldn't find Sita Devi. And there he started to search the forest to find her. Think about the people we love. Even if today you think of the most loved place, for example, sometimes there are people say, you know what, I love the beach. I love to go in the mountains. I like to go in the forest. I like to go in the garden. Think about something that one of them would have loved. Do you think tomorrow you could look at them and say, here's what, I know you love the gardens. You know what, I come in the garden to meet you. Would you find them? Even our most loved possession in the world, when somebody leaves, even the best thing in our lives will leave behind. Nothing goes with us. Prabhu Ram is saying, but where is Sita Devi? They start searching, and no matter where he will search, he will never find her. But while going deeper into the forest, he hears somebody saying, Ram, Ram. And he says, Lakshmana, do you hear that? Ram. And Prabhu Ram walks up to a spot where he sees now, Ramayana says, Tabasa krora nisi chara kisiyana ka desu parama karala kripana. He says, Taba jul julawe he Ravan ne krodh hokar atyanta bhayan kara. He says he sees now a bird lying down in the ground. The bird is none other than Jatayu. The bird is lying there, his wings are cut and he's bleeding. And while he's bleeding, all he's saying is Ram, Ram, Ram. In life, people will fight us. They will cut our wings, not so? Sometimes a mother will say to a child, if you think you're going outside and you're going too much, I will cut your wings. You ever hear people say that? If you think you want to go online too much outside, I will cut your wings. Jatayu, his wings were cut. Why? Because he tried to stand up and to fight for a mother. We must learn to stand up and fight for our mothers. Not just fighting for simple things in the world, but fight for them when they need us. Start with, my friends, by showing love and respect to the elders. When we stand and we respect our mothers, it is said, Jatayu, he says, Prabhu Ram, I saw a mother asking for help. And when I saw the mother asking for help, I decided to try my best to save her life. And Prabhu Rama looked at him and he says, but Bhaiya, you don't even know who Sita Devi is. He says, but I saw a poor woman in need of help. And I saw a true mother who is in need of help. Children of today's world, sometimes I would ask them, some of my girl children, I would say, but do you speak to your mother and do you respect and love her? And they say, but Baba, you know what? If you know what mom does to me, it works both ways. A child will respect the mother when the mother respects the child. Nowadays, it's not like long time. It works vice versa. I will always give the example of the day when I said to the child that all mothers must be loved and respected. And on that particular day, the child came up to me after the satsang and said, but Pundit, what about my mother? Because at the age of 6 months old, she left me at the doorstep of the orphanage. So then I had to correct myself and say, okay, not every mother, but every true mother. A mother who lives that life and that role. The one who teaches their children by example. The one who leads by example. Jatayu says, I've seen a mother crying for help and I just saw the aura of the mother and I knew this was no ordinary personality. So I decided to help. And when he wanted to help, a beautiful doha tells us, जिमितर होई तब रावण ओ रामा सिंह से राता बैठाई ओ रामा सिंह बैठा रहुआ चल पराई अतर भया हो रामा रत के ही जन जाए हो रामा रत जन ही जतुआ चला गायना अतुराई हो रामा भया रत ही हो राय हो रामा हो अतराए हो रा Chandra saw the bird on the ground and he saw Jatayu. He walked up to him and he says, but Bhaiya, you are a stranger and you stood up to save my divine Devi. And there Jatayu says, you do not need to be related to somebody to help them. You don't need to be related to someone to give a helping hand or to lift the spirit or the soul or the heart of someone. Every good deed that you do will come back to you. And sometimes people in the world don't see it like that, as easy as that. But every good deed counts. No matter if the person is related or not, the good you do will come back to you. चला गयने ही पता आतो हो रामा भया रत हे हो रामा हो भया रत हे हो राम उमापति महादेव की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय, अयोध्या राम लला की जय, बोलो भाई सब संतन की जय, सियावर रामचंद्र की जय। शरणम। Everybody bolo. Chaupai tells us now. Shri Ram Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama. 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 Shri Rama Jaya Rama. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama. Shri Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya. श्री गजानन स्वामी की जय। It says श्री राम जी की अद्भुत लीला का स्मरण करते हैं। पक्षी पृथ्वी पर गिर पड़ा। When Jatayu was found on the ground, Jatayu was chanting Ram, Ram, Ram with his final breath and his last moments. And while he was chanting the name of Prabhu Rama, the Katha tells us Prabhu Ram came to the heed and to the help of Jatayu. He knelt down right and he says, Jatayu, what do you want to say to me? Please tell me now, what do you want to say? Your life is ebbing away, your life is leaving. And before your soul leaves this body, what do you want to say to me? Before you die, if you get a chance to talk to God, what will you tell God? Just think about this, right? Garud Puran says, when you die, Bhagwan comes there. The God of death comes, Lord Krishna comes. That's when you die. Lord Krishna will be standing there. God of death will say to you, well, I'm ready for you now. I came to take you, time to go. And you will see Lord Krishna, you will say, but Prabhu Krishna, remember the day I come and I pray in the temple? Remember the day when I clap? Well, Prabhu save me now. And Prabhu will look at you and say, well, here's what. You didn't pray enough. You had your chance. You're in His care now. When you die, you have no speech for yourself. You cannot speak or stand up for yourself anymore. The only time you can act is now, here, right now. When you die, Prabhu would never say, well, okay, let me send you back for 5 days again. Go and pray and come back. It doesn't work like that. What you do now is what counts. Prabhu is saying, Jatayu, before you die, do you have anything to say to me? If God comes to you in a dream tonight and says, speak to me before I take you, what will you say? Think about that. Sometimes we live life every single day just looking at how the wheel goes, how the days go, how time goes. And we never stop to think, well, what if we actually have a moment to speak to God really, and He's going to answer that prayer or that cry? What will we say? What will you ask for? What will you think about? Well, think about it tonight, because sometimes that thought can manifest. It's that easy. Everything takes time, but that thought can manifest. Prabhu says, speak and say what you have to say. And there, Jatayu, he says, Prabhu, don't worry about my life. And there he's struggling to breathe. He says, don't worry about my life. But Sita Devi, that mother, I saw that woman dressed in the orange. She was being taken away by that evil Ravan, and he lives in the southern part. I'm telling you from now, he lives in the southern part. Go that way. And there he starts to breathe, panting for the air. And while he's panting for that air, only he knows, my friends, when will be his last. Life, every day, our moments, the actions we perform, they are ruled by the karma that we practice and the karma that we build. Every single day we build some deed, some good deed. Try to do a good deed every day, so that it nullifies the bad deed that you would have done in the course of your life. If you think about it today, can you think of something that you did really good today? Do you think there was some action you did today that could bring some blessing into your life? Or do you think that you did something that is adding to more problems in your path? Think about that. Every single day is a day wasted do something good with it. If it means one good act in the world, you helped somebody, you lifted somebody, probably you gave somebody a good speech, maybe you made somebody smile who was in a depression, maybe you made a child happy, maybe you helped do something for the prayers, whatever it may be, every day perform a good act. If you do that, it will add all together. Karma is a powerful thing. The world learns about karma. In our Hindu dharma, we know that there's karma and dharma. Nowadays, we travel the world and people don't even know about Hinduism. They know, hey, don't do that, boy, you'll get karma. People don't even know English. They could tell you, even if they speak in a different language, karma. They know that word karma. Because everybody knows what you do will either bless you or haunt you. What goes around will come around. It is a proverb that everybody knows. Do a good deed every day and lift yourself. Prabhu Rama says that you would have lived your life here, Jatayu, and the world probably didn't pay attention to you. But this one act that you did will save your whole life. One good act can save your whole life. When we speak about karma, then there's so much in the world to be grateful for. Listen. Kabira, jab hum para hue जगह से हम रोए ऐसी करनी कर चलो हम हंसे जग रोए चदरिया हाय रे चदरिया हो रे चदरिया हाय रे चदरिया हो रे चदरिया जीनी रे जीनी अष्टकमल का चरक बनाया पांच तत्व के पूनी चदरिया पांच तत्व के पूनी राधे गोविंदा अष्टकमल का चरक बनाया पांच तत्व के पूनी नौ दस समाज पुनन को लागे नौ दस समाज पुनन को लागे मूरख मैंने कीनी चदरिया जीनी रे जीनी जब मोदी चादर बनकर आए रंग दे जी को दीदी चादरिया रंग दे जी को दीदी जब मोदी चादर बनकर आए रंग दे जी को दीनी ऐसा रंग रंगा रंग रे रे ऐसा रंग रंगा रंग रे लाल लाल कर दीनी चदरिया जीनी रे जीनी चादर चिंता मत करियो, ये 2 दिन तुमको देनी नजरिया, ये 2 दिन तुमको देनी। दादरो चिंता मत करियो, ये 2 दिन तुमको देनी नजरिया, 2 दिन तुमको देनी। मूर्ख लोग वेद नहीं जाने, मूर्ख लोग वेद नहीं जाने, दिन दिन मैंने कीनी जदरिया जीनी रे जीनी। जो प्रहलाद सुदामा ने और हित दरिया, जो प्रहलाद सुदामा ने और हित दरिया, सुदामा ने हो सुदामा ने, सुदामा ने और हित दरिया। जो प्रहलाद सुदामा ने और हित दरिया, सुखदे निर्मल के नीत दरिया, देने निर्मल कीनी। दास कबीर the world that we live in, according to the karma that we build, every single day our life, my friends, is being held captive and bonded by the negativities of the world. It is just like when Sita Mata was abducted, Jatayu said to Prabhu Ramachandra, he says, Prabhu, I saw a helpless woman in a chariot going, and I realized that this helpless person must be somebody divine for Ravana to leave all the way from where he's living and to come here. But I tried, Prabhu, I tried, and at this time, it says, I have no hands. He says, तब जुलावे हुए रावण ने क्रोध होकर तलवार निकाली और उससे जटायु के पंख काट लगाए. Pank, it is said the pank cut, meaning the wings were cut. He says, Prabhu, I fell to the ground, and these are my last words. And with the last words, his eyes are starting to close. He says, Prabhu, go to the south, I cannot last longer. In front of Lakshmana, in front of Prabhu Rama, he says, Prabhu, please forgive me. Jai Shri Ram. We always tell people, and it's true, if you could say God's name with your last breath, God will take you to the beyond. But it is not that easy. Garuda Puran gives a description. He says he will send 6 or 7 of his yamduts to hold that tongue and tie it right there. If you've lived a bad life, the God of that says, I will ensure that you come to me, not to Krishna Prabhu. You come to me because I want to give you trouble. You live a bad life, you will not get away. He says, I will wait there for you. And if you think you're going to say, Ram Prabhu, I will tie that tongue and I will drag you to my direction. Just now will be the Pitru Paksh. We will be having Yagya for Pitru Paksh. You will listen to the Yagya to those who will tune in, and we will go in the depth of the Garu Puran, what the God of that does, and how it tortures the people who live a bad life in this world. Scripture tells us today, Prabhu Ram looks at Jatayu and he says, for this one good deed that you did, he looks at him, he looks at Lakshmana. Jatayu says, Jai Shri Ram, and they see a light coming from his chest, and the light is about to leave. Some devotees have come to me already and say, Pundit, you know, I was in the room when my mother died and I saw a light, I saw something different. Some devotees came to me already and said, when my mother was about to die, I was holding her in my arms, and when I looked into her eyes, I saw a bright light, and then her eyes were closed. Prabhu Ram sees that divine light leaving, and Lakshmana looks, and Prabhu Ram looks, and he puts his hands together. He says, today you will merge and become one with me for the one good deed, the one good act that you have performed. You don't know when it will be your last, but every day do one good act. Do something good. It will not help me, it will help you. It will not benefit me, it will benefit you. I can only advise you and tell you, it is up to you. When Prabhu Ram saw the soul leaving, he says, Bhai Lakshmana, now that this bird has helped us to go, or he's given us the direction in life as to how to find Devi Mata, we will have to follow it. Many holy people, many Pundits and Sadhus and Swamis and holy texts will give you the light and show you the direction. It is up to you to follow. Like how the saying goes, you could take the horse to drink water, but you can never force him to drink it. We can only give the direction, but it is only up to you to take the knowledge and change your life. How many people on a daily basis go to a yajna or put on the radio or listen to the kathas and say, wow, Pandit, I learned something, you know, I never heard that before. That was really nice. But when katha done, you go back to your same life. You go back to the same story and you never change your life. Take heed of the scriptures. Prabhu will only tell us once. It is up to us to do better. Proof is here. Mother is here. Father is here. Brother is here. Friend is here. The proof is here on a table, and we see all the loved ones. And at this point, they can do nothing for themselves. It is what you can do now. Do it. When you can pray now, pray. When you can sing now, sing. Don't make excuses. One of the funniest things I always see is when I go to a puja and I say, somebody could sing a bhajan. And you hear, I had a cold yesterday. And my throat is not well. When I was in Canada recently, one good fellow said to me, he says, two things in the world will never ever come back. A good word that is spoken and an opportunity. An opportunity will never come back. What you have to do, do it. You see a moment to grasp, grasp it. You see something good that will make your life better or make you happy, do it. You see a place that you wish to go and you're looking at it on TV or you're seeing it on Facebook and you know it's probably right down the road and you say, well, I live in right there. You know, one day I'll go right there. Get up and move. Get up and do it. You see something to make your life better, do it. You see something to buy or to bring or to get in order to make your life a better one, and even the people around you, don't waste these moments. Two things that will never come back in your life. A good word that is spoken and an opportunity. Embrace it while you have it. When Prabhu Ramachandra sees the soul leaving, he says, Lakshmana, now that he is not here anymore, the least we can do is respect the body that tried to save Sita Devi. Respect the body that has saved us. We need to respect the people in our lives who help us every day. We need to know who they are. We don't need to fool ourselves and fool the people. We know who are the genuine people in our lives. We know the people who laugh at us and they laugh with us and they laugh at us. And we know the people who laugh with us and they will be there for us. How the saying goes, a friend in need is a friend indeed. When we say friend, it could be family or friend, but we know the people who are close to us and who will stand with us at all times. When you know who your true people are, embrace them. Don't wait for moments to come and lose, my friends, the opportunity of people in your lives. Today, when Lord Hanumanji in Ramayana one day, when he realized that his true friend was Divine Lord Prabhu Ramachandra, he never stopped. He decided to go for it. He decided to pray. He decided to sit down. Forget the world sometimes. Live for you sometimes. Sometimes forget the whole world and live for you. If it means I need to do this and I will feel happy, then do what makes you happy. Because what might make you smile today, you never know if you'll smile after that. Life is too short. हे हनुमान बहु बलवान, भक्ति ज्ञान वैराग्य के कान, 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 भक्ति ज्ञान वैराग्य के कान। हे हनुमान बहु बलवान, भक्ति ज्ञान वैराग्य के कान, हे हनुमान बहु बलवान, भक्ति ज्ञान। मोचन तू कहलाए, राम बिना तुझे कुछ ना भाए। संकट मोचन तू कहलाए, राम बिना तुझे कुछ ना भाए। तेरा द्वार जो बेकट गाए, बिना कुछ पाए गढ़ नहीं आए, बिना कुछ पाए गढ़ नहीं आए। हनुमान बहु बलवान, भक्ति ज्ञान वैराग्य के कान। ओम श्री हनुमते नमः। बल को बलवान बनाया, हर संकट पल में टल जाया। दुर्बल को बलवान बनाया, हर संकट पल में टल जाए। तेरा गान करे जो कोई, तेरा गान करे जो कोई, उसना कोई विपदा होई, उसना कोई विपदा होई। हे हनुमान बहु बलवान, भक्ति ज्ञान वैराग्य के गान। हे हनुमान बहु बलवान, भक्ति ज्ञान वैराग्य के गान, 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 भक्ति ज्ञान वैराग्य के गान। हे हनुमान बहु बलवान, भक्ति ज्ञान वैराग्य के गान, भक्ति ज्ञान वैराग्य के गान, भक्ति ज्ञान वैराग्य के गान। श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम। श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम। It is said when Prabhu Ramachandra saw the soul leaving the body, he says, Lakshmana, for an individual who lived a good life, he needs a good send-off. He needs a proper send-off. It is only the lucky people in the world, with the people who are very good and close to them, get a good send-off. Can you think about all the people who died in COVID? What happened to their body? Thrown in a bag and just dumped like nothing. It is also part of karma when you know scriptures. If you live a good life, you will get all the offerings that are supposed to be. And if you live a bad life, the body is disposed of when nobody even cares. Karma is seen when you see people, sometimes they are found, maybe died somewhere in the forest and nobody found the body. Or somebody has drowned and the body just disappeared. It is said in that way the karma has turned back where the individual had to suffer in this way. Prabhu Ramachandra says for a body or for a person who lived with his last breath saying Jai Shri Ram, That body must be kept at the highest. He says, Lakshmana, prepare. I myself, Prabhu Ram, will do the final rites if I must. Because today he has given me a good word. I hear sometimes when you go funeral, you hear the old people saying, they say when you die, according to how many people in your funeral, it tells what kind of person you are. You think that's true? When I die, I go come back and see. They say when somebody dies, you go and see how much people go to the funeral, and that will tell you how good that person lived his life. How much people came because of probably the niceness of that, the personality of that person. Prabhu Ram says, I, Prabhu Ram himself, will do the ritual for Jatayu because he lived this good life. Always try to live a good life. Sometimes we may think that doing something that is tricky in the world. Sometimes we may think that outsmarting people or situations might bring you to the best. But there's only one true path. Prabhu Ram came to establish Dharma. Only living on the right path will help you. We may hide and do things in the world, but nothing that is hidden will remain hidden. Everything comes to light one day. Everything will be seen one day. From our partners, from our jobs, from the people who try to conquer us mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally. Everything will come to the light, good and bad. Don't think you can run and hide from God. Today in our scripture, when Prabhu Ramachandra, he says, Lakshmana, let's find a spot. They found a spot and they started to dig this spot in which they will place the body. And Prabhu Rama, he took rocks and he took the earth and he covered the body. And he says, Lakshmana, today we have served our duty and our purpose. A question comes in mind. Who is the right, or who is given the right to perform the final rites of someone who has died? Somebody asked me just recently in a message. Who has the ability to perform the final rites of someone? When somebody dies, you always hear people say, no, the son, we need this boy and that boy, and well, she only had 3 sons or 2 sons, and that is it. We don't know who to get again. Can a girl take part? Yeah? How many people say yes? How many people say no? How many people not sure? Garuda Puran says when somebody dies, the first privilege is given to the son, a putra. Putra meaning the son, putra meaning that individual who elevates the consciousness of the one who has died. It's called a putra. If there's no son, then a daughter, a child. A daughter is given preference. If, however, a daughter is not there, maybe these individuals didn't have children. If a husband dies, the wife is given the first preference to do the final rites. If a wife dies, the husband is given first preference. Vice versa. If there's no children, and if maybe one spouse is not alive or that one spouse is not willing to do it, then a family member, a close or immediate family member can do it. If a man dies, his brother can do it, or his sister can do it. Some immediate family member. If there's no immediate family member, a best friend or a close friend can do it. If there's no close friend and there's nobody to do it, the Pundit himself, after knowing the person, he could do it. Imagine that. So sometimes in society, when you see somebody dies and you hear somebody saying, no, he can't touch. If he touch, something will happen. Even Garuda Puran says, there's a breakdown. If this one can't do it, this one can do it. If this one can't do it, then the other one can do it. And we have a breakdown. But it is our mind and mentality to think, well, if he touch, well, everything will go upside down. It is our mentality that if this one come and see that and he interferes with it, problem will happen. It all comes from the mind. The mentality that we take towards situations. An individual asked me recently, and I'm sure they probably may be tuned in as well. If a husband, brother passes away, think about it. A husband, so a wife and a husband, and the husband, brother passes away, and he has to do the shroud or the rituals. As a wife, can I take part? What do you think? Yes or no? If a man's brother dies, can his wife be a part of helping him in the ceremony? Naresh, what do you think? Yeah? And people say yes. And people say, you don't know. When 2 people become married, the 4th vow, the 2nd vow of a wedding ceremony, the wife says to the husband, from today I join your lineage. And if at any point you were to do any form of pitri offering or ancestors worship, I must be given full authority to stand or sit with you and perform. Rina, you remember that? We had to have a talk. Which means to say that any undertaking the husband must perform, she has all rights to do it. That is one, when I'm doing wedding ceremonies and I reach that vow, I say this is very important. Because when the husband family passes away, when he has to take part, everybody turn to the Dholak and say, no, that is not your family, stay one side. But on the day of the vow, you made a promise and you asked on that day, and he said, I do. You said on the second vow, should there be any form of offering for the pitri of the ancestors, I should be a part. And he said, what? I do. Later on in life, we don't understand as to how important it is. In life, friends, we think some of these simple things. Prabhu Ram is a stranger. And he takes the bird and he puts him there and he covers him and he says, now, Jai Shri Ram, your soul will rest in peace. You will be happy and comfortable. And Prabhu Ramachandra says, I will come down to even assist in the ritual of anybody. Providing what? Providing this. Providing you live a proper life in the world and you stand for Dharma. Simple. Jatayu lived his life, but he did one good thing. He saved the life of Sita Devi, or he tried his best to save. And Prabhu Rama says, to those who will stand in the world to protect a mother, a daughter, or a family from hurt, I will come and help when it's time for them to go. That's as easy as it is. Help our mothers instead of bashing them. Lift them, speak to them, have a conversation. When things don't go well, don't stand up and say, I hate you, mommy. Have a conversation. Speak to the people in your life. Compromise. Have conversations. Communicate. It is through communication we will be uplifted. But one of the things in the world that is very hard for the people of this universe is to communicate. Don't let time fly by miscommunication. A beautiful chow, Pisces. Shri Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama. Shri Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama. Odese Parama Karala Tripani Odese Banka Parakara Dani Shri Rama Jaya Rama Jaya. Sumiri Ramo Kari Adabhuta Dani Shri Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama Shri Rama Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama. Oh. Bihari Lal ki jai. Everybody, Shri Rama, Jaya Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama. Shri Rama, Jaya Rama, Jaya Jaya. Very nice. Shri Gajananda Swami ki jai. When Prabhu Rama performed the final rites of Jatayu, he walked away after covering the body. He went to one of the nearby stream and he performed the Tarpan offering. Who can perform a Tarpan offering? Some people say, don't touch that grass, you know. The man go hold him. Who can do Tarpan? Can a woman offer Tarpan? Yes. The man can offer the Tarpan and the woman can offer the Tarpan. Little things like these people have fight for, you know. Little things like these, you hear chaos and then this one say, well, I tell she don't interfere and she interferes, so die why? Mind over matter. Sometimes we find little things just to find a fault for or problem with. Anybody can make the offering of a Tarpan. When you take your hands and you hold and you lift and you make the offering, you are getting, your lineage is getting that blessing. I remember now when Prabhu Ramachandra had gone to the forest, on the day when he found out that his father had died, the minister came up to Prabhu Ram and he says, I want to let you know your father died, Prabhu. And Prabhu sat there and an entire conversation takes place. But Prabhu says, Lakshmana, let's go in the forest and let's get what we have to get. Let's see if we find that grass to make the offering. And we will come to the river and we will take water and we will make the offering and say a prayer for our father. He says, Sita Devi, you wait right here. But remember, the offering must be given and finished by 12 o'clock. So Prabhu Rama, he's averaging the time by the sun. And he goes with Lakshmana to find the grass. And Sita Mata sits at the banks of the ocean or the river. And while she's waiting, she's looking at the sun going above and realizing, well, 12 o'clock coming, sun getting hot. And she says, you know what? I don't know, maybe if time passes, we won't be able to make the offering. So she goes into the water with nothing, no leaf, no grass, nothing. And she goes in the water and she picks up a handful of water and she says, well, you're my father-in-law, but I loved you like a father. So today, I will make an offering to you. No big mantra. And she made the offering in the name of her father-in-law. When she made the offering, after making 3 Tarpan offerings right back into the water, it is said a voice from the sky was heard. And the voice was saying, Devi, today because you would have sacrificed to stand in the midst of the water and to make the offering, I want you to know that I am pleased, I am happy. When Prabhu Ram comes back, tell him, I don't need anything anymore. Who was she? A daughter-in-law. And she made the offering. And when she made the offering, and she heard the voice saying to her, it is all well and fine. She waited after that. And when Prabhu Ram was running, coming, and he saw the sun is about to pass the time, he's running, Devi, okay, come, let's go, let's make the offering. Devi says, no need to rush. Raja Dashrath said to me that he's happy and satisfied with the offering. Prabhu Ram couldn't believe, how could you make the offering and he's satisfied? He even went into the water, and when he held everything in his hands, even there through the clouds and the sky, he heard the voice of his father. And the father says, son, what you do now, I don't need it anymore. I got the offering from my daughter Sita. Who made the offering? I had an encounter once in a funeral where the mother, she died, husband has died long time. And when the mother died, she has one daughter. The daughter is married. And now the daughter says, well, because there's no son, I will do the offering. But my husband, who's the son-in-law, he says, Baba, you know something? The day she got sick for 6 months, 8 months now, I was the one lifting her off the bed and taking care of her. I was the one taking her to the hospital and back. And on the morning of the funeral, I saw him by the road and I said, what are you doing here? He said, everybody in the whole family said to me, because I'm a son-in-law, I'm not supposed to be here, so I had to stay by the road and wait. And he said, Baba, I am the one who lift her, feed her, took her to the hospital. The last moments I prayed with her. So why can't I be there? And I had to give the same example. When Sita Devi, as a daughter-in-law, made the offering, Raja Dashrath says to his own son, I don't need anything anymore. I got the offering. You see how little things we fight for sometimes? Sometimes many people think we know so much because you know why? We are scared. We're scared to make an offering and maybe the Jombi Holu. We're scared to make the offering and something will come in the night and pull we foot. But you know what? Be strong mentally. Ask when you don't know. Ask the Pundits. Don't just ask amongst yourself because everybody will have their own opinion. Ask the Pundits. Speak to them. Ask why and ask why not and why shouldn't we do it this way and who should do it this way and for what purpose. Ask and get the answers because Hinduism is logical thinking. It is spiritual. There are rules and regulations to certain things, but it's also logically thinking. Tonight, while Bhagwan Shri Krishna now in Bhagavatam, Bhagwan Govinda, on one particular day, it is said when he had gone to Mathura and he had destroyed King Kamsa as his uncle. As a child, even on the last moment when the soul is about to leave King Kamsa, he goes and he says, even I will make an offering to you, uncle. Uncle, and this child is making an offering. So who can't really make an offering? Radha Gori, Radha Gori, Radha Gori, Radha Gori, Radha, राधा गोरी और श्याम रसिया हे जोरी मेरे मन वसिया राधा गोरी और श्याम रसिया हे जोरी मेरे मन बसिया राधा गोरी राधा गोरी राधा गोरी राधा गोरी राधा 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 He makes the final offering to Jatayu as a stranger, despite his God, he makes the offering and he says to this soul, I pray now and I will ensure that you merge and become one for the good deed that you have performed in the world. Our good deeds will be merits. Our good deeds will help us in life, my friends, to elevate ourselves and our consciousness. All it takes is a moment of a positive mindset. Stop looking at everybody in the world and feel somebody's bad. Stop looking at everyone in the world and think that people are doing you something. Many people live with this mentality and cage with the negativities of the world. And if you keep thinking like this, you'll never be able to free yourself from the bondages. Radha राधा राधा कृष्णाय वसुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नन्दगोपाकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः गोविन्दाय नमो नमः everybody Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki jai. When Prabhu Rama made the final offering to Jatayu, he decided to turn away and to walk from that point. And Lakshmana thinks, he says, Prabhu, being that you stood here by this body and you made an offering, will everything go well now? In life sometimes, many of us, we are easy to think that everybody is always bad towards us. And that is one of the most negative mind frame and mindset that we can ever have. Because when you keep that mentality and the way of thought, then you'll always be thinking that the world is always against you. Are you a person who thinks sometimes that everybody is against you? Or everybody is your enemy? How many people think like that? Don't afraid to say, no, I just feel so too. Sometimes you walk into a place and you'll smile with everybody and you know in your mind, you know what, I feel he really don't like me, Do you feel like that sometimes? Surround yourself with people who will motivate you. Surround yourself with people who support you. Surround yourself with true people who will actually help you. Not the people who will give word to say yes and maybe and I will try, and at the end of it they are the same ones who are pulling you down. Life is short. Time is short. The world is short. Bhagwan Krishna one day he said to the entire village of Vrindavan, he says, today, as I am as small as I am, after saving the world from lifting the mountain, he says, today I will show you that you have the power to lift any situation that you want with the smallest finger that you have. Faith, power, prayer, and devotion is all that you need. And you can uplift yourself. In Ramayana, Prabhu Ramachandra, at one point he too had destroyed the evil Ravana. And even when destroying Ravana, it is said that Ravana looked into the eyes of Prabhu Ram, and on the last moment, deathbed, Prabhu Ram says, why don't you give up your bad deeds? And Ravana is looking into his eyes and he's saying, no. Ravana is dying. He's on his last moment. Some of us, it's easy to change our lives, our personality, our character and things in the world to become a better person. But because probably we are scared to let go, even at the last moment, we don't. What can you hold on to in the world? Or what do you hold on into the world and think will last forever? What do you expect to hold on into the world that will give you a moment for a lifetime? Think about this. Chuti jaye sansar, chuti jaye sansar, ikadena chuti jaye sansar, ikadena chuti jaye sansar. Everybody. Chuti jaye sansar, chuti jaye sansar, ekadena chuti jaye sansar, ekadena chuti jaye sansar. राजा रंग को काल नहीं चीन्हत जीवन सबका करता सबका करता इकड़ न छूते जाए संसार इकड़ न छूते जाए संसार on simple things in the world that will never come back. Life is too short, my friends. Every single day while our life is going away, we are losing moments to smile and to become happy. Tonight, our message to all of us, live life to the fullest. Remember, the older folks always said to us, live every day as it were your last, because not everybody can see a tomorrow. It's simple, it's basic, but at the same time, we don't practice it. बहुविधि पर वीर पुराण ग्रंथ बहुविधि पर वीर पुराण ग्रंथ बहुविधि पर वीर पुराण ग्रंथ बहुविधि पर कोई न पावत पार कोई न पावत पार इकड़ न छूते जाए संसार इकड़ न छूते जाए संसार no matter how much wealth you have, no matter how much money you have, no matter how much house or car or whatever in the world that you will have, nothing will last forever and you will take nothing with you. Stop the fight of the world. Many people in the world, no matter where I go, people are fighting for wealth and so much physical or material things. Let go of the things of the world because you cannot take it. Take example. Who worked and built a big house? Who worked and bought everything that they wanted? You look at everybody here and I'm sure everybody have their little story. Not so? Everybody have a story when they probably sacrifice and they hide their little money one side and they bought their what they love and they bought for people and they built whatever they could. Everybody have their story and you look at all of them there and who took what with them? Nothing. Nothing in this world is yours. We will only come and enjoy it for a moment and mentally know that you will have to let it go. Nothing is yours. If you learn to keep that mentality, if you try to start letting go from now, enjoy, but don't hold on to. Then life will be easy to let go when the day comes. Many souls, they cry within themselves when they have to leave because they wish they could remain and enjoy the niceties of the world. But not even the niceties of this world can last forever. Nothing stays forever. भवसागर में जीवन नैया भवसागर में जीवन नैया भवसागर में जीवन नैया राम लगावत पार राम लगावत पार इकड़ न छूते जाए संसार इकड़ न छूते जाए संसार संसार इकड़ न छूते जाए संसार इकड़ न छूते जाए संसार छूती जाए संसार छूटी जाए संसार एक दिन छूटे जाए संसार एक दिन छूटे जाए संसार. We are only here for a short time. Enjoy it. Do what you must. Live life remembering that life can go at any point. Long ago, I'm sure all the elders could know that long ago you would never hear any young people dying. You will only know, well, you know, that man was old and he passed away. And this one was old and he got a heart attack and he died. Or that one was old and he just went to sleep and never got up. And today it's a regular, it's a custom, it's normal now. You wake up and children are dying before anything else. The youngest of them all. Today people who are living and eating the healthiest diet in the world, they are dying faster than us too. Life is too short, my friends. Tonight, after we have understood the energy of Prabhu Ramachandra, don't waste another moment, but every day, take it upon yourself like a homework. Every day, try to do a good deed. Make somebody happy, or make somebody smile, or do something just to uplift someone's spirit. Not just you, someone else in your life. And if you can live by that habit, then it is said the good karmas will start building and building and building. And the day you have to leave, when it adds up, you know for sure that you won't have to suffer in the world. Some people live their life to the fullest, and on the last moment before they die, you see them lie down on a bed and they're probably suffering for weeks and for months and for a long time. If you build your good karmas to a good level, you won't have to wait for them. But Prabhu will release you before the suffering takes place. Shivrindavan Bihari Lal ki jai, Umapati Mahadeva ki jai. So at this time, let me invite everybody to stand. Today we would have come together to remember all these family members and loved ones. And when we say a prayer for them, I want everybody to take a moment and to close your eyes while we stand. And I want you to remember the people that you love. The family members of this home, think of all the loved ones who are on the table. And to those who are here, you don't need to be related to any one of them. But if you've lost someone in your life, a brother, a sister, a friend, a husband, a wife, a spouse, a grandparent, whoever it may be, today we're about to pray for them. And we say, Prabhu Krishna, wherever the soul of our loved one may be, may you guide them in the right path. Today would have been 1 year. And after 1 year, the soul is released from the bondage of the 16 cities. But at the same time, the soul is now judged if the soul will go to heaven and enjoy, or the soul will go to Patalok and pay for the bad deeds. And for us, today 1 year means we've thought about the loved ones so much. We've hurt, we took a moment to cry, we took a moment to grieve and to mourn. Today means we need to start moving forward, because we are still alive and we still have a life to build. So as we're about to join in prayer, put hands together. We think of Shri Krishna, think of your loved one. Say, Lord, today give me the courage and the strength to rise above hurt and pain, mentally and emotionally. Give me the courage to stand and rise above situations that come in our lives on a daily basis. Because we know, Lord, everything happens by you. Om Anadini Dano Deva Shanka Chakra Gadadaraha Akshaya Pundare Kaksha Preta Moksho Prado Bhava. When we concentrate our mind on Bhagavan Shri Krishna, Lord, as the Lord of life, we salute you, Lord. जब चारों तरफ अंधियारा हो, आशा का धूर किनारा हो, और कोई न केवल हारा हो, फिर तो ही बेड़ा पार करो. जय 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 कृष्ण हरे, जय कृष्ण हरे, श्री कृष्ण हरे, दुखे को दुख दूर करे. जय 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 कृष्ण हरे. जब चारों तरफ अंधियारा हो, हारा हो, फिर तो ही बेरा पार करो। जय 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 कृष्ण हरे, जय कृष्ण हरे, श्री कृष्ण हरे, दुखियों को दुख दूर करे। जय 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 कृष्ण हरे। तू चाहे तो सब कुछ कर दे, विष को भी अमृत कर दे है। तू चाहे तो सब कुछ कर दे, विष को भी अमृत कर दे है। पूरा न कर दे सबकी आशा, पूरा न कर दे सबकी आशा, जो भी तेरा ध्यान करे। जय कृष्ण हरे, श्री कृष्ण हरे, दुखियों को दुख दूर करे। जय कृष्ण हरे, श्री कृष्ण हरे। दुख दूर करे। जय 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 कृष्ण हरे, जय 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 कृष्ण हरे, जय 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 कृष्ण हरे। श्रीमन नारायण नारायण नारायण, 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 लक्ष्मी 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 नारायण नारायण नारायण। श्रीमन नारायण नारायण नारायण, श्रीमन नारायण नारायण नारायण, लक्ष्मी नारायण नारायण नारायण, लक्ष्मी नारायण नारायण नारायण। अनादिनि धुनो देवः शंख चक्र गदाधरः, अक्षय पुंडरीकाक्ष प्रेत मोक्ष प्रदो भव। नारायण श्रेष्ठः लक्ष्मीकांत जनार्दनः, अनेन तर्पणेनार्थं प्रेत मोक्ष प्रदो भव। त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव, त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव, त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव, त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव, त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। हरि ओम। इतना तू करना स्वामी, जब प्राण तन से निकले, गोविंद नाम लेकर, तब प्राण तन से निकले, तब प्राण तन से निकले, तब प्राण तन से निकले। श्री वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय, उमापति महादेव की जय, कृष्ण कन्हैया लाल की जय। Let's all take our seats.